Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tim Walsh coming to you live from the Illinois Fire Service Institute on the campus of the University of Illinois, where today we're going to be talking about Day One Fire Academy. Everybody remembers their first day in the Fire Academy, so we're going to show you what we do here in Day One. So we're going to let you get signed on, tell us where you're watching from, tell us where you went to the Academy. I'm going to be off the camera for about 1 minute, and then we'll be back to introduce today's segment.
No, no.
I'll get in your ear when we're ready to go, when you want to dismiss. I'll call it out. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Tim Walsh coming to you live from the Illinois Fire Service Institute, where today we're covering Day One of the 7-week Fire Academy, the Spring Fire Academy. We're represented by multiple fire departments in multiple states from all over Illinois and the country here. I want to bring in Steve Doggett, who is a lieutenant with the Urbana Fire Department, one of the chiefs here in the Fire Academy program. Over my left shoulder is Chief Eddie Carone. He's in charge of the candidates today. And today they're going to be going into live burn structures. And they've only been here today. This is it. This is what separates the Illinois Fire Service Institute from every other fire academy in the state of Illinois. It might take you 6-7 weeks to get into a live burn structure. They're in a burn structure first day. This is a fire department. This is a fire academy. We go to fires and we believe in live fire training. Steve, you want to talk about it a little bit for me today?
Absolutely. First and foremost, this is an exciting day for us. Day one is everything we look forward to in the off season. So we have a lot going on. As you said, Chief, we have a variety of people from all over the state and the country. We're covering 2 states, Illinois and Alaska, this Spring Academy. We're also covering 31 counties, 26 departments. We have a lot to do in Day One. So today we're going to cover a lot of the things that we're going to, we're going to talk about some of the things that we covered today. And we're also going to get the opportunity to watch them enter their first live burn for this academy.
So one of the other benefits of coming to the Fire Academy is we have 8 live burn structures. So you get a multiple look at different types of structures that you're going to go to. Streetscape, high-rise, taxpayer, single family, to name a few, and there's 3 others that they're not even going to go in today. So live fire rotations begin today, and they continue for the entire 7 weeks that they're here, and they work about 8 to 10 hours a day. So let's take a look at the students that are giving up 7 to 8 weeks of their downtime from 36 paid departments, 12 combination departments, and 7 volunteer fire departments from all across the country. Let's take a look at who's here. We're going to go to that square right there. Chief Carone, go. Hey, so Chief Carone's going to dismiss all the candidates that are here working today. We're going to get them to the props, and then we're going to show you their first live burn. So obviously this is day one. This is smoke appreciation and fire appreciation, the ability to put your PPE on, the ability to go to work inside a building. They're just going to be crawling. They're not going to be carrying hand tools. They're not going to be putting out fires. This is just getting used to being in a fire building, because that's what firefighters do. And if you're not training like that at home or from wherever you come from on the first day of your academy, and the first time you go in a fire building is after you're dismissed from the fire academy, it's going to be a problem. That's why we want to get involved in this. Hey, Steve, tell us why this is so important.
So this is incredibly important because when we start our academy, we don't know if somebody has experience, if they don't have experience coming in, and we have to assess that just to make sure that we can operate safely from day one all the way to day 35 when we complete academy. So as we progress, this first day is incredibly important for us so we can get an idea of where each student is at, if they're comfortable in the building, if they're going to have an episode that we can work through over a long period of time.
So
because
wait, you're kidding me. You mean people don't really know how to go in a fire building their first day in a fire department? You mean they should probably go in a fire building before they get assigned to their fire company?
Absolutely. And it gives us that opportunity to work with those students that have never been in a building before, that this is their first day on the fire department. Because for many of these students back here, they got hired Friday and they've started on Monday.
What's some of the stuff you guys were already working on today to get them up to this point before they go in the building?
So like with any class, we have to go over some rules and regulations. That's our very beginning, the very first thing in the morning. Once we get that going, we're going over a lot of the safety, a lot of the things that we're going to practice today. So you see them wearing their gear, they're wearing their air packs, and they're going through some of the steps that they've learned just hours ago to put this on correctly. Now when I say correctly, again, we have some people with experience, but those experiences might not be following best business practice. So we're treating every single student as if they have never put on an air pack before, and we're all on the same playing field as we progress throughout the academy.
So some of the stronger students are helping some of the students that might have issues. We see instructors, 3 instructors, 4 instructors, one of the battalion chiefs checking their PPE to make sure it's on appropriately. There'll be a check before they go in the building. And this is just about getting comfortable in your gear, getting comfortable in the clothes that you work with on a daily basis, correct?
Absolutely. And that's going to progress through the entire academy. So if you think about it, in our academy, we have the youngest person at 19 years old and the oldest at 40 years old. Completely different life experiences. So that same example of helping people out that are experienced also will travel with them all 7 weeks through all of the skills that we're getting ready to do.
And why is it so important for them to have hands-on skills sessions as opposed to just the book knowledge? How does that play a factor here, and why is it so important? And how are we different from everybody else?
So actually a couple things. Here, the book knowledge is required to make sure that we're following our IFSAC and Pro Board certification. That's something that departments, I said before, we have a department from Alaska. They're here because of those credentials. We have to follow that through our education, but our organization isn't here just to give a piece of paper out.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we're giving each and every individual the foundational skills so they can go back on day one, they'll be prepared to pull a hose line, go put out a fire, make a rescue. And we've had that in the past to where students' first day on their job when they return from academy, they've made rescues.
That's awesome. Let's also talk about, we talked about the people that are watching us out here now. Where did you guys go to the fire academy? Type in the comment sections. Tell us where you went. Steve, do you remember your first day in the academy?
I remember
very
well.
How long ago was it?
Very well. It was 2007.
Okay.
We actually started on a Sunday evening getting prepared, ready to go. And I had been on a volunteer department prior. So it was a culture shock for me, even having experience, because of the structure when you come into this academy. It's a completely different experience whether you're brand new on the job or you've been on a department for a while.
Yeah, I went to 3 different academies, one in July of '86, another one in September of '84, and then another one in June of like 2000, or June of '98. So each and every one I learned something different. They were at 3 different places and 3 different instructors. As you can see over my shoulder, these people are getting ready to get dressed and get inside. Instructors are making checks, making sure everybody's dressed appropriately. We're going to take you inside, kind of let you see what they're doing. We're only going to show you the one prop today. We're not going to go to all 4 props that are operating live burning, but you'll get to see this group. I believe this is the Delta group, Charlie group.
Charlie
actually.
group.
Just check their helmets. That's how we can identify the candidates very quickly. You can see on the back of their helmets that they have numbers, and we're getting ready to go in now. So I'm going to be quiet for a while so people can just take a look as to what companies are doing.
Chief, remember too, as they get ready to go in, they're not only learning about the job, but they're learning who they're with. A lot of these are complete strangers that they're getting to know too.
Yeah, so the camaraderie that they build together, working in their groups, is very important, I would assume, right? They rely on each other, they help each other on a daily basis as far as what? Tools, equipment, getting dressed in the morning, making sure their shoes are shined.
Absolutely.
All the stuff that happens.
Absolutely.
So you can see we're moving into pretty good smoke conditions here. And we're learning how to walk and crawl inside the building.
Chief, one of the things you're going to notice, I'm going to interrupt you.
Please go ahead.
We're constantly teaching as we're in a building. So you're going to see instructors guiding these students, especially this first day. We're going to get ready to go. If we have some small equipment errors, we're going to fix that. Notice right here, just a quick fix right before we go in.
Stop to get that MMR plugged in. And we want to make sure that these guys are going in the building. They're supervised by instructors as they're in the building, one at the door, one at the burn prop, and then one at the rear of the door. And we're taking part accountability, right, of the students as they go in and as they come out.
Before, during, and after, absolutely. For our home viewers, you can see that this is a low heat, low smoke environment right now. Again, we're just staying very basic, so we're getting them comfortable in the building.
Yeah.
As you watch them progress, they're going to be just doing basic things, simple breathing, making sure that they're comfortable in that mask.
Yeah, because the SCBA and the PPE that they're wearing is their most important lifeline when they go home and they get into a fire building, and they need to be comfortable. So we're going to transition over to the windows here to kind of see what they're doing.
So I said that part of this drill is being comfortable and familiar with their air packs,
Yeah.
but it's also the environment. We can see that they're just kind of sitting right now, right?
Yep.
As they're sitting, they're just feeling that heat.
Yep.
We're low heat, but for them, this is brand new.
Right, and they're
So-
talking to each other, which is a huge thing. You and I both know that in NIOSH fatality reports all across the country, communications is the #1 key factor. So being able to communicate with your gear on, through your SCBA, with your officer or with your partner is key to good fireground survivability and good safety practice.
Absolutely. We got our first thumbs up for safety check, so we're still moving good. Everybody seems comfortable. Again, remember, we're not searching. We're not doing anything other than just being comfortable in this building.
And we call this what, the comfort and familiarity drill, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We do this several times throughout the 7 weeks with increased difficulty as they increase their skills.
How many live burns do you get here in 7 weeks, ballpark, as a candidate at the Illinois Fire Service Institute? What do you think?
Ballpark between 40 and 50 burns.
50 live fires you go through as a candidate here.
As we
Wow.
learn more skills, we're going to continue to increase the difficulty and the frequency of fires. So for example, in week 4 and week 6, we're going to have night fire drills. So we work during the day, and then also in the evening, we'll have different outside factors as we learn. Let's go ahead and pop that door and take a look inside here again. Another opportunity that this academy is going to get to have is they're going to be able to go to Danville, and we're going to be using acquired structures in week 5.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm glad that you brought that up. I forgot that we do acquired structure burning as well, besides the 7 or 8 burn props that we have here where they get live fires. So they get real live fire acquired structure, which is a lot different than a burn prop. Burn props are awesome, but talk about the difference between the two.
So we can see here that this is a concrete building. We're using pallets and straw. We're going to go through those same safety steps and use the same materials in a structure. However, those structures are wood frame structures. They're not concrete. So we have to be very vigilant on how we burn a live structure. Also, the students tend to learn these buildings over the first 4 weeks.
Okay.
After the first 4 weeks, the drills get easier because they've been in them.
The familiarity.
When we start introducing acquired structures, they're not as familiar with those. Now, we do increase our safety just to make sure that there's no risk to the students, but they're not as familiar with those buildings as they are while we're here.
Yeah, and another thing I know that you guys do, because I've seen you do it since I've been working here, is you change the interior wall setups and all the different burn props, so they're not always the same. The actual outside dimensions don't change, but the inside dimensions and the rooms change, and the furniture schematics inside those rooms, as we add more expertise and harder problems to the students, change every drill almost, don't they?
Almost every drill. So that's one of the advantages. We have multiple burns. Burn buildings is we can change the burn buildings, but we can also change bookcases. We can build new walls. We can do a variety of different things that will allow us to increase that difficulty, make new rooms.
That's awesome. So you can hear a safety power count off coming up right now, which the candidates get used to doing for their instructors and for their group leaders. Is there an occasion where you assign students to be like a leader within the group during the week, just to complete normal tours of duty stuff that they would at the fire station? House chores, rig checks, tool cleaning, stuff like that.
So every student is responsible for that, but they do report to their shift leader. Every company has a shift leader. Now we have 4 companies: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So each company will have a shift leader that they communicate to, and we stress the chain of command and accountability through that shift leader. I'm going to jump in here real quick because this is a great shot. We see now that we've been in the burn building for a couple minutes, we see the students starting to get tired. Again, some of these have never been in these scenarios before. We also can hear that their breathing is increased from the last time.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though we're not moving a whole lot,
Yep.
the stress on the body from the heat, from the fact that they're not used to it, and just the general stress alone and being the first day is easy for us to tell. As instructors, those are things that we're looking for safety-wise, so they can make sure that nobody gets injured, nobody has any problems from day one.
And then we
all the
make
way through.
improvements on that as the academy goes through, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's all great stuff. Some of the other things that you would see as the instructors were moving around in there is our instructors are wearing brand new Lion gear, right? And Lion is a partner of the Illinois Fire Service Institute Academy, Hands-On Academy. And they outfitted quite a few instructors last year with their new gear, Lion dry gear. And our instructors are wearing it and they love it. So we have all kinds of gear here at the Fire Service Institute, but Lion is sponsoring our instructors.
We're pretty blessed to have those partners because, as I said before, we're burning 30 to 40 times throughout the academy.
Yeah.
We go through gear much faster than any general fire department. So we have to continue to monitor that for our instructor safety as well. That means that we have to have that constant gear coming in, and we have to make sure that we have the resources to do that. So we've been going on about 7 or 8 minutes now from the time that the first student entered the building.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, from the time that everybody entered the building.
Okay.
So just kind of think about that as we progress. We don't hear any alarms going off right now. Our alarm is a low air alarm. So that's a good thing for us. That tells us that students aren't consuming their air
That was
very
going to be
quickly.
my next question. Do we keep them in here their first day until they go on low air alarms, and then we all come out of the building? Do we talk about that, or?
We do.
How does that work?
We're going to work them through their first bottle, and that's just going to give them an impression. That's going to give them an impression as well as us of how long that they will last.
Okay, hey Steve, come on over here for a minute. Let's get you on camera. I want you to talk about one more time before we sign off about what sets this academy apart from academies, definitely in the state of Illinois, but across the nation. Please talk about that.
I appreciate that question. I really appreciate that question. Again, we're IFSAC Pro Board accredited, so that makes us stand out across the country. That attracts people from all over the 50 states and even beyond in multiple programs. For us, again, we burn 30, 40 times throughout Academy. We don't wait to burn because we want to get their familiarity with the building as soon as we can and work through issues. And as we do that, we can also trend each student to make sure that they're constantly improving, they're constantly evaluated. The final thing that we do is we make sure that we're communicating with the departments as well. So as they continue to get the skills and build on the skills, or they have deficiencies, we communicate that so departments understand where their students are. And in most cases, they're constantly improving, and that's confidence for the department as they come back.
And we're tailoring that education to each individual, right? It's just not a blanket thing. If a student has an issue or a problem, we fix that for them, right? Our job is to address that, not to wash people out. Our job is to work with them, get them through the academy, make them good firefighters, and then send them back to departments for further training, Con Ed, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so hey, this is Tim Walsh. We're going to be signing off here at the Illinois Fire Service Institute. We appreciate you joining us at 5 in the evening, not our regular time. We're going to be coming to you again the end of March, where we're going to be highlighting our basic operations firefighter program, which caters to volunteers all across the state at 4 different locations. We'll be coming to you on Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of March, and we're going to highlight that program with our partner, the Illinois State Fire Marshal, that pays for that program all across the state of Illinois, so that volunteers that can't come to a standalone 7-week academy can get the same training in a different format. So we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's event: Lion ISO Dry, the gear our instructors wear, Key Fire Hose, Elkhart Fire Nozzles, and all the partners here at the Illinois Fire Service Institute that support fire training. We look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks.